I want to share with you a really important skill set that comes under the whole big umbrella of business and more so marketing. It's called copywriting. And I want to talk to you about a story that illustrates the importance of grab them by the eyeballs. But before I explain that phrase a little more thoroughly, I want to talk about what copywriting is first, just to put this all into context, being that you are a marketer, or that's who I'm directing this message towards, are people who are marketers and want to increase their business profits. So what is copywriting? Copywriting is salesmanship in print, or in audio, or in video, with the goal that you are wanting people to consume or read your messages and ultimately be led to your point of view, which is to close you on a sale or on their idea. But I think most of us as marketers, it's ultimately obviously to get that sale. So back to grab them by the eyeballs and what that means for a copywriter. So I'm going to have a really fun story to share with you about this. Grab them by the eyeballs simply means when someone lands on your page or your video, whatever material it is that you have about 10 seconds, and that being more so in the context of TV. You've got about 10 seconds. Online, it could be as short as 2 seconds, for example, in a pay-per-click ad. In social media, we have a little bit more time, and the reason being because we're friends with these people. All right, so a fun story about grab them by the eyeballs and what it means for you as a marketer and how to increase your profits. I was watching a business biography, and it was talking about the infomercial industry. And there was a really fun story about the George Foreman grill. Okay, raise your hand if you remember the George Foreman grill commercial. It was hugely successful, and they sold millions of dollars worth of those grills. But what a lot of people don't know is it was actually, when they first put the video out, the commercial that is, it was a big flop. So why am I even talking about this story? Because it's going to relate to the importance of understanding the reason why people buy, and more so to illustrate the importance of paying attention to the female buyer. So let's find out with their first 10 seconds, their video shoot for the George Foreman grill. Well, he's a boxer, right? So what they did with their first take was showing him boxing, thinking, well, that's going to be a great bonding, connecting moment. And when you think of grilling, you think it's mostly men that do the grilling. And so the men are going to watch George Foreman boxing, and they're just going to be compelled to buy. Well, it was a disaster. Okay, so that first 10 seconds showing George boxing, huge disaster. They had to go back, figure it out, what can we do differently? Pay close attention. You know what they did? Okay, if you watch any of my other videos, and I talked about the most important thing for women when they purchase, it's putting it into context as it relates to people. So what did they change? What did they swap out for that first 10 seconds? They showed George grilling with his family, with people. And the sales shot up, and it became a multi-million-dollar success. So what's the lesson here? The lesson is you have that short window of time to bond and connect, that being one point. The second is paying very close attention to those value levers, those connectors that women buy in context of relationships. Here's another point behind that. I think when they made that commercial, they were thinking that the men were transacting the sales, when in fact, grills are a household item, and women are responsible for 83% of the household buying decisions. Kind of interesting, isn't it? So that is something for you to think about when you're crafting your message, and to be keenly aware of that. Again, so you can be more profitable. Now, just for fun, and to teach you a little bit more about this story that I think you'll find very interesting. And again, for that overarching concept that I want you to become more competent as a marketer, really kind of irrespective of the whole situation of wanting to tap into the female buyer. We're simply talking about marketing competency. Well, what was really interesting to find out, those 10 seconds took up 600 hours to figure out what they were going to do with that 10 seconds. 600 hours, a lot of thought. And you know what they say? I say, marketing is a thinking man's game, or you might say, a woman's thinking game. So I'd like you to meet me over in the discussion area and let me know what you think about the whole concept of both grabbing by the eyeballs, that first window you have, and also what it means to pay attention to the values, the messages that you craft for your prospects. I'll meet you over there.